Hi guys, today I'm going to be trying out some new items from the newly released, it's the Industrial Collection, and this is by Isamaya French, who owns Isamaya Beauty, and these were recently released. This is the Industrial Collection. There were, I think, about 5 items released. This eyeshadow palette, also the mascara. There was also a glow serum, there was also a lip serum as well. And there was also a brow lac in the collection. So I picked these up from Selfridges. That is where they were first released. And now, as I understand it, these are also available from her website as well. Now, Isamaya French is known that her inspirations are not from classic beauty references. And I think makes it pretty obvious with this collection. It is based on rubber and latex and really has an industrial feel. I think the packaging on this is really, really lovely. So we'll take a look at the outside of her eyeshadow palette, and it is a latex type of image, and she worked with a 3D artist to create this 3D image. Now this palette has 17.5 grams of product. It is made in Italy and it has a shelf life of 12 months from date of opening. So it just has a lift up lid. It has a fairly big mirror inside, and here is the color story. So these are fairly bold colors. There's also quite a few different formulas as well. Now with this palette, I think that obviously you're going to be able to create really bold looks, but I'm hoping I'll be able to create an everyday type of look with these colors as well. So Isamaya calls these her capsule collection. So the Industrial Collection is a capsule collection, and I had a look at her YouTube video, and she's planning to release 4 to 5 capsule collections each year. So it's going to be interesting to see what she comes up with and the different color stories that she has. So I'm going to swatch this palette on my arm, and I'm going to swatch it from left to right and top to bottom. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to get the whole eyeshadow palette on my arm or just do one row at a time. So the first shade is called Leather, and this is a black putty type of formula, and this is a true black, and it blends with skin temperature, so you can either use a brush or use your finger to apply. Next we have Sweat, and this is sort of a subtle iridescent, it's a lilac shade, and this one reminds me actually of a Surratt eyeshadow that I have. Then we have Brass, and that is a copper. Next we have Grip, and this is a green, sort of green silver hybrid. Next we have Motor, and this one is like a grungy gold, it's a green gold. And next we have Machine. Now this sort of picks up quite chunky, but once you swatch it on, it's actually really smooth. And this is an industrial brush steel, it's silver. Then we have Caprum, and this is an antique gold with a browny sort of brass shade in there too. And then on the bottom row we have Fetish, and Fetish is black and gold. Then we have, this is Belt, and it's a sheer metallic brown. Then we have, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's Flesh, and it's a subtle, it's a sparkly nude. And next we have Whip, and Whip is an intense black, and it has a metallic undertone. And then we have Diesel, and this is like a putty texture as well, like the first one here. And then second to last we have Heat, and this is a subtle colour. It is sort of a bit of a gold in it. It might even slightly be a duochrome. on my finger when I swatch. It sort of has a little bit of green in there as well. And then finally we have Initiator, and I'm going to put that up here as I'm running out of room, and that is a bright green. That is a really beautiful colour. So I'm going to do 3 looks with this eyeshadow palette. The first one that I'm going to do is going to be fairly bold and probably only going to use a couple of colours. I'm going to use the black and probably something like the silver here. So it's going to be a fairly strong look. I'm going to start off with the Rapha number 14, and I'm going to go into this first shade here, which is Leather. And it might be, this is a natural hairbrush, so I may shift to a synthetic fibre brush. I'll just see how this goes on. So I'm going to take that on the outer corner. I'm going to put it through my crease, and I'm going to take it up as well. So this is the one that goes with your body temperature. So if you wanted to apply this using your fingers, these would apply really well doing that. This actually applies fairly well with this brush. These actually blend out really, really well. I'm going to take this on your G. This is the Mini Booster. I'm still sticking with this darker shade, and I'm going to add a bit more depth to the outer corner and run this through the crease. And then still with the same shade, I'm going to take the Rapha number 3. I'm going to put some of this on my lower lash line and just see how it goes with this brush. And there seems to be enough lay down. Then I'm going to take the Sonia G, and this is the Blender Pro, and I'm going to go into this shade here. This is the one that it looks sort of quite chunky in the palette, and when you pick it up, and then when I swatched it, it laid down quite smooth. But this is a beautiful shade. Then I'm going to take the BK Beauty brush. This is the 207, and I'm going to go into this shade here, and I'm going to put that in the inner corner. It is sort of a iridescent like lilac shade, and I think that could look quite good in the inner corner. So I'm now going to put on some eyeliner. This is a Chanel one, and this is black. This is the one Ebony. I was thinking about putting on Grey Graphite, which sort of has both of these sort of colours mixed together with sparkle, but I think I'll just go with a very black eyeliner. So now we'll take a look at the mascara. This is called Rubberlash Latex Lift Mascara. This is made in Italy as well and has that industrial theme to it. It feels sort of like rubber on the outside and has her name Isamaya at the end here. I have used this a few times and I really like it. It does give volume and it does give lift. You can layer this mascara. It is really, really good. And the times that I've used it, I haven't found it to flake or to transfer. So the wand has a curve to it at the end here. Now at the very end you can see just that little bit that sticks out, and that is actually a mini wand. And how you're supposed to use it is use the end bit at the very root of the lashes, and then once you've done that, then you go over with the whole wand, and that lifts the lashes. So first of all, I'm just going to curl my lashes first. And I've found with this mascara that, because I have used it probably about at least 4 or 5 times now, it doesn't clump in any way. So with the end, you just go into the very base of your lashes and put some product in. And then once you've done that, you just go in with the actual wand, and that starts to lift your lashes. So that's with one lash done. I still haven't done this one yet. I'll do this one off camera. And this mascara also has 3 different black pigments in it to give it that real true black. And the other thing I like about this mascara is that it doesn't go, I can layer it and it doesn't have that spidery look. I think it does a really good job. I think it's a really lovely mascara, and I love that deep black that it gives, and it really looks good with these eyeshadows as well, this really dark smoky look. So I'll just show you what it looks like with my eyes closed. I'm not going to put on any blush and lipstick because I will leave that for my final look, and I only really want to wash this makeup off round here. I don't want to have to wash off my whole makeup each time. It's been a while since I've done a really bold eye look, and I like it. I think it is really, really gorgeous. So I'm now going to wash this makeup off, my eye makeup, and then we'll do look number 2. So for the second look, I'm going to concentrate on these 2 shades here. This one is Caprum, and this one here is Brass. I may add 1 or 2 others, but at this stage I'm going to start with those 2. So again, I'm going to take the reference number 14, and I'm going to go into Caprum, and I'm just going to do the same as last time. I'm going to put this through the crease and just slightly above as well. These do blend really, really beautifully. Then I'm going to take the reference number 3, and I'm just going to use that same shade, and I'm going to put that on my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take the Sonia G, this is the Builder Pro. I've wiped it down, and I'm going to go into Brass, and I'm going to put that over the rest of my lid. This is a beautiful colour. And then I've wiped down the reference number 3, and I'm going to go back into Brass, and I'm going to put that, take it round the inner corner and underneath the lower lash line, just through to the middle. Then I think I'm going to go into this colour Flesh. This is sort of like a topper shade, and I'm going to go over the colour Brass. That's really pretty. I think this shade here, this one, Flesh, you would get a lot of use out to lighten colours. It's really, really pretty. So I've put some eyeliner and mascara on. I used a Chanel eyeliner again. This is in the shade Espresso, and I just tightlined my upper lash line and put a little bit on the lower lash line as well, and again use the same mascara. So this is the finished look for the second eye look, and these are really beautiful colours. This would be gorgeous for autumn, and again, probably not something I would wear during the day, although it's not too out there, but definitely a really beautiful colour for the evening. I think that these shadows blend really, really beautifully, and some of them in the palette have a really, like that Flesh one that I put on, it has a very soft look. It's a topper, and it's really, really pretty, and I think it helps soften the eyeshadow and lighten up shades a bit as well. I think it's really, really lovely. So now I'm going to wash this off, and then I'll be back for the third and final look. So for the final look, I think I'll use the shades. We've got Belt and then leather. That's the one I used at the very beginning, and then flesh, and see what we can do with those. So I'm going to go into Bout first. This is a synthetic brush. My other Rapha one's getting a bit dirty now, so I thought I'd change to this one. This is the it's the 502. And with these 3 shades, I'm hoping I'll sort of be able to do just a little bit of a softer look. Maybe something that I would wear during the day, sort of more for an everyday type of look. And I'm actually going to take this shade Bout and I'm going to run it all over my lid, because I'm going to go over the top part here with that shade Flesh. So I'm running it all over and just take it sort of slightly above as well. Then I've wiped down my Rapha number 3 and I'm going to stick with the same shade and put that on my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take the A504 and I'm going to go into the shade Leather. Now I just want to add just a bit of depth to the very outer corner. And then I want to add that same depth just to the very outer corner of my lower lash line. So the Rapha number 3 back into the shade Leather and just on the very outer corner. And then I'm going to go into that, like that top shade Flesh, and I'm going to put that over the top and I'm going to take it right over the whole lid. And then I'm also just tapping that shade just above the crease as well. Then I'm going to take the Synergy, the pencil one, just sticking with that same shade Flesh. And I don't know how well, it's not really like going to be a big highlight in the corner, but just add some more of that sparkle. It's really, really subtle, but I think it could look quite pretty. So here is the finished look of eye look number 3, and I would have to say that this is my favorite, only because it is definitely one that I would wear during the day. I think it's absolutely beautiful and it blended beautifully just like the other shadows that I used. And for blush I used a SUQQU one. It's from not their latest collection that's just been released, the one before that. And this is shade number 102. I just wanted to keep things fairly neutral and just concentrate on the eye look. And the lipstick is a Guerlain one, and this one is Lily Caress. So what do I think about this eyeshadow palette? Well, initially I thought this was really intimidating, but it's actually not, and it blends so beautifully. And even the putty black colour, it blends so well, and then as you blend up you do get a gradient in the colour because they just blend so well. And I don't notice difference now that I've done that today using a natural hairbrush and using the synthetic one. Both work equally well and are just as effective. What I do love about this palette, not only does it have those really bold, strong metallic colours that I know a lot of people love, but there's quite a few sheer metallics in here as well as toppers, and I think it just gives such a beautiful look. So you could go in even all over the lid with this colour here, Leather, or Diesel, this color down here, and then go over the top with one of the sheer metallics, and just like that you would have a really beautiful eye look. It's not as intimidating as I thought it first was. It's actually really, really pretty. I didn't get to use this shade here today. I would have liked to. I think this would look really, really stunning, but I'm really happy with the looks that I did do. Now this shade here, this is the one I used in the first look, and it's really interesting because as you see, as I move my finger in, it does flake up quite a bit. And then it's almost like the putty ones where it's not a putty formula, but it's like it reacts with your body temperature as well, and you don't end up with all these huge flakes on your eyelid. And as I put it down on my hand, you can see that it just melts in. It's really, really beautiful and such a gorgeous color. And you can see as I blend it, even this shade blends out. So what you would think was chunky and would just sit on your eyelid and maybe flake down, it doesn't. It just blends out really, really beautifully. These are gorgeous, gorgeous formulas. So I'm really, really excited to see what she next releases, and I will pick up the next one that she does release, and it's going to be interesting to see what sort of theme and color story that she goes with. She sticks to this formula and keeps with the sheer metallics as well as the really strong ones and these beautiful ones that blend out like this. Then I think this is going to be a really popular brand. It's just really, really beautiful. The other thing that I like as well, and I thought it might happen with my mature eyelids since I'm now 53 years old, is that I thought it might emphasize texture, but they don't, and I'm really surprised by that. It's just the formula of these. They're just so, so beautiful. And I love the mascara. This is the third time I've put it on now for this video, and I didn't quite get it all off each time, I don't think. I didn't want to rub too hard, but it still looks really, really good, even with the other coats that I've put on. And I love that it's really, really black, and I also love that you can layer it as well. I love it when you can layer mascara. The formula isn't too dry and it isn't too wet, and as I said, I've worn it before and I haven't found that it's transferred or flaked during the day either. So overall, I'm really pleased with this palette. I'm glad I finally picked it up and used it because it is just absolutely beautiful. And as I was saying, I'm really looking forward to what else she releases. I'm definitely going to be picking it up. Now this and all the other makeup that I'm wearing on my face today, I will have linked in the description box below. But overall, very happy with my purchase and think this palette is just absolutely beautiful. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye.